Hello.
I am thrilled. You look so fabulous, and I'm glad to have you in my studio. It is a pleasure beyond belief.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
I'm
it's
so
so
excited
true.
to be here. Let's have a look at
Sure,
what
sure, absolutely.
Let's step
absolutely.
in. You have been doing this work for 50 years.
That's correct, by the way.
And how has your process changed over that time?
You know, for a long time, I was doing these giant drawings of screws that were in charcoal. They were enormous. They were 9 by 30 feet. They were even larger. I started thinking about, let's go to the vag, by the way. You know, I already had the cocks covered, by the way. I like the song, by the way. Yes. When I started working and doing work that was very sexual, no one was interested. They all thought, oh my God, you know. And
she's vulgar.
Not only vulgar, but it wasn't appropriate.
I heard that you mentioned
that
some of your inspiration came from the men's bathroom at Yale.
That's right.
Is there a wait list for the men's bathroom at Yale? What is their admissions rate like? Can you talk about this moment and how you ended up there in the first place?
I wanted to be an artist, and this was an entree. So I went to Yale, and I had read an article in the New York Times, and it said, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf was taken from bathroom graffiti. That was a big eye-opener for me. So then I had guys wait, and I would go into the bathroom and check it out, and it was during the Vietnam time. It was going to Vietnam, have a beautiful wife and 2 wonderful children, hope I come back. A lot of it was actually poignant. It was also poetic, and I used that. I didn't use specifically the stuff I saw. I had a man flying through the air with a cape and a cock 3 times the size of him, and I wrote, this may not be heaven.
Sorry. Continue.
You know something, had I known you were going to be here, I would have looked that up, by the way. But nevertheless, this may not be heaven, but Peter hangs out here. And I used those graffitis as inspiration. So it was scatological graffitis that were an inspiration for my work, and that was done in 1966.
We are now in an era where people are crying out and trying to say, enough is enough. Now, you've been creating images of presidents and saying, fuck war.
That's right.
Since Nixon and...
That's right. That's right.
How do you feel as an artist who really cares about this, watching the next generation of people trying to make a difference with their work? What does that feel like?
You know, I'll tell you something, I'm part of that. In spite of the fact that I'm much older, I'm very much into images that assault you, that are right in your face, and they have enormous amount of message. They have enormous amount of impact. I have the Fuck Vietnam series. I had these very large screw drawings. I also made a large signature piece that was like 16 by 45 feet. It's a takeoff on a male privilege, and it's also about ego, and it's also about my ego. Then I worked on The Money Shot, which was a great title. I tell you something, I love titles.
Is it because of urgency that you want your message literally writ large in your work?
You know, it's funny because graffiti, you think, by the way, is actually very superficial. It's not. It comes from a subtext. It comes from the inner subconscious. And when someone is defecating on the toilet, it's also releasing in the mind. It's deeper than you think with all this graffiti. I also love humor. Humor cuts the rage and the anger and what you're trying to say, and it makes it much more palatable. Because if you so true.
That's my life. That's my whole work. Is trying to say something important, but
that's right.
It's that spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine go down.
That's exactly right. This is a time when everything is in your face. There's a lot of stuff that's out there, and without really shouting and being part of it, your voice is not heard. You need that voice being heard against Donald Trump, against war, against many things, against rage and prejudice, and all kinds of things. So it's quite a time.
So when you were starting, you were the crazy lady shouting in the quiet room.
That's right.
And now you are speaking at the tone of the times. What's wonderful about you is that there is so much urgency, but the reason for that is I think you see a lot of beauty in what we can do.
I agree. I
and
definitely
there's
agree.
something worth saving.
That's exactly right.
And I have to tell you that, like, you know, your work is wonderful.
Thank you.
However, coming in here and I want you to adopt me as your Grandchild, because you have the most
Absolutely.
wonderful spirit.
Oh, that's so great. And
Yeah.
you know something? I think you're terrific also, by the way. And it's been such an extraordinary pleasure to have you here. And also, I'm a big fan. So that's just, so we're both fans of each other, which is great.
this.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that is the power of art.
Yes.
Thank you so
Oh,
much for
you're a
having me
sweetheart.
here.
You're such a
So
sweetheart.
much.
Great, great.
What a great thing.